that was so poorly managed, so poorly maintained. But we see a robust power sector that will not only mimic the gains that we saw and the profitability of the telecoms industry, but will in fact exceed that exponentially when all these things that Mr. President has put on the ground. The foundation has been laid, and we have today all that is necessary, all the critical mass required to give Nigerians power in large quantities. Extend this power transmission, we have doubled the lines that we have today, and for wheeling capacity, we've gone from about 3,000 to 5,500 wheeling capacity in megawatts. So at the end of the day, you can only dream wonderful things and experience them in the next 4 years with regard to power supply. So what I can say about this administration is the administration came and saw and was overwhelmed. But today, this administration has gone to work, put so much into the power sector. The privatization is yielding incredible results. And by the grace of God, as we conquer those who want to make it impossible for Nigerians to get power by attacking our gas line, Mr. President has moved on to make sure that coal becomes a reality. More hydros are coming on board. Wind farms are coming on board, and biomass is even being contemplated. At the end of the day, I can say, prepare Nigerians to celebrate. Incidentally, and unfortunately, this president has overperformed, overworked, and I would say achieved. Unfortunately, though, I can say that he has been underreported, under-celebrated, and underappreciated. I do hope that by the end of this month, on the 28th, when Nigerians go out to vote, and when they see what is already on the frying pan and cooking pot for them for the next couple of years, everyone will say, carry on, Jonathan. This is the day for the emancipation of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we do have one item on the agenda which we have to move up due to time constraint. On your seats or beside or below, under your seats, you have a piece of paper, and this is, it's a placard. If you see anything other than a sheet of paper, please do draw my attention to it. What we're going to do for the next 60 seconds or so is basically to put this down in history, where we all rise, or is it rise, or should we just lift it up? Okay, I think we should rise. So can we all rise, please? If you need an extra piece of paper, please do signify. Okay, we need some placards in the front row for some of our panelists. While we're sharing that around, please do remember this conversation is real time. It's online. That's at GEJWinsIt, hashtag GEJWinsIt, and also you can tweet your questions. Some of the ushers stationed across the hall will be taking some of your questions so that once we're off the live transmission, we'll be able to deliberate on some of the questions you have. We cannot address all the questions because literally time is precious. So now that anybody without a, sir, okay, you might need 2 sheets of paper, sir. Or you can share one. Okay, thank you very much. Now on the sheet of paper we have hashtag GEJWinsIt. So on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to raise your arm up, way above your head, and shout GEJWinsIt. On the count of 1, 2, 3. So that we're all clear as to what we just said, can we have that again, please? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Millions of Nigerians across the world have seen you raise your arms above your head. On a lighter note, thank you very much for that. We do have some other questions this evening, and this one is going straight to the FCT minister. Of course, this transmission is live from the FCT, and it borders on, from what I gather here, the issue of investment into the FCT infrastructure and development, sir. There are a couple of questions here. So what I just did was just to summarize it, because obviously a lot of people have a lot of questions to ask. The issue of housing has been a recurrent issue, apparently. So from here, we have a question that basically targets the issue of investment into the FCT and the impact on infrastructure and development, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to take off from where my brother here, my neighbor Eagles, has left off, the issue of the new face of leadership under Dr. Goodluck Ebenezer. I am one of those that will testify as a testimonial that we have a new face of leadership. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seated here and answering the name Minister FCT. This is the man who never knew me before, whom we had hardly had anything in common. We didn't even share a party together, neither our region or our beliefs. In a complete departure from how it was being done before, where the head of state or the president of Nigeria normally brings somebody very close. This man, because he's a statesman, he gave me the responsibility to manage this city for him. This has put hope to every Nigerian, that away from sentiments, away from all these differences and diversions, he remained one man who recognizes nationalism and the shared values of being a Nigerian. And so I have been filled with a burden to make sure I perform. And in doing that, we know we inherited a territory that is made up of 79 districts, 9 sector areas, and 11 satellite towns. And over 38 years, we only did 11 districts. And of course, because of the paucity of funds, he has encouraged me without interference, giving me a free hand, even though he never knew me, giving trust to Nigerian as a Nigerian leader. And so we set to work to incentivize the private sector to make sure we reduce the infrastructure and service deficit. Even the RFI buses were grounded. All the roads are having gridlock. You can hardly travel from here to Nyanya or to Kubwa or to the airport. So we had to work. Of course, there were a lot of challenges. We reduced the travel time today to 30 minutes when it was 2 hours before. If you close from work to go to Kubwa, it was 2 hours because of the gridlock. This is the city with the new 10 lane all around reticulated around the city under his transformation. And of course, in doing that, we made sure we bring new buses that are carrying people to and from work. And of course, we license other private sector to come and provide the buses in terms of making sure we reduce the commuter wage deficit. In terms of specific investment, the Centenary City is there, a city within the city, a green park, a leisure and work city that is incentivizing the private sector to just provide land without encumbrances, reducing the turnaround time to access land. And of course, 1,200 hectares of land is provided that is bringing about $2 billion investment. The land swap is supposed to reduce the deficit in terms of developable land because we have only 11 districts that have been built over 38 years. Now, under his own gaze, under his own supervision, we are incentivizing the private sector to bring about 500 billion naira to build another 11 districts within the next 4 years. Of course, the World Trade Center is there. It was just conceived to be just a small shopping mall, but it has gained accreditation from the World Trade Center in New York. And we have really encouraged the private sector to come and bring about $1.2 billion, $1.5 billion. Phase 1 is already completed. The Abuja Town Center, there can't be a city without a heart. Abuja was just being built without condominiums, without leisure and parks and other places where Nigerians or tourists would come. And today, we have really gotten an investor, and already we have cleared the place. You can see it, $3.5 billion being invested in that place, where you have something akin to Ulysses in Paris, and of course, Oxford in London. And then the Jabi mixed use development is attracting